everyone, my name is Jaigovind Mishra and I am from BAB905, also known as Project Management. And for this video, I will be discussing about my favorite topic, which I learned in week 2, known as Project Management Basics. And for this assignment 2, I'm going to be discussing more about it. And the reason why is because this topic really spiked my interest more than others. I'll get to why more later on in this video. So let me first try to explain the topic. So let's start with the basics. So what exactly is project management, right? In its core, project management is basically a simplified version of the application of knowledge, skills, tools, and techniques to essentially run and manage a project or a business or try to meet specific goals. But it's actually much more than that. It's very hard to explain it in small terms. So projects, for example, the projects are very different from day to day, right? Operations are repetitive. For example, like processing payroll or managing inventory. But these projects are very temporary, and their goal is to create something new. It could be a business plan, it could be a service, it could be a product, or it could be a result. So, and when that result or when that project is done, the need is met, the project basically is finished. There's also this concept known as triple constraints, or the iron triangle, which includes scope, time, and cost. So every project basically has to essentially manage all three and balance them in order to run a project efficiently. For example, when a project deadline is moved up, you might need more money or reduce the scope to deliver on time. Then there's the project manager, essentially like a captain on the ship. Their goal is to make sure everything is on track, the goals are clear, and the team is delivering efficient results. According to the lecture, from the slides I summarized, 90% of project managers' time is spent on communicating with teams, with stakeholders, clients, pretty much everyone who's involved in the project to make sure everyone is on the right track. Another big takeaway was the PMBOK, also known, sorry about that, also known as the Project Management Body of Knowledge. This guide outlines 12 principles and 8 performance domains, which shape how we manage modern projects. I won't go through all of them, but principles like stewardship, system thinking, and adaptability, these really stood out to me. So why? So another big takeaway on the PMBOK is its principles and 8 performance domains, of course, but all of this actually lies in PMI, which is known as project economy. Basically, more and more companies are becoming, let's say, more project driven, meaning that these projects are using skills in project management, and it's very essential to do so. So let me share my perspective on all of this. So when I personally found out that project management isn't just a business skill, it really stood apart from me from other things, because I learned it is actually a life skill. Whether you're launching a spaceship company or rocket company, or you're planning a personal event, whatever it could be, you're kind of managing a project, which includes time, cost, scope, all three, right? So let me give my personal example. So worked on a part-time role at retail logistics company during the holiday season. It was around the March break. It was only for about a week or two. We had to launch a temporary same-day delivery system across all three locations in Toronto. One is in Etobicoke, one is in downtown Toronto, and one is in North York. So this project, so technically I was not the official project manager, but my role was supervision. So I was kind of like being a project manager. So first problem was the time constraint. It was real because you had to deliver the same day. We only had two weeks to implement it before the Black Friday. The scope was clear: launch the delivery system the same day. The cost, it was a very tight budget, so tight that it was very hard to understand if this project will even succeed or not. Now here's what it got interesting. So we started facing the scope creep. Extra questions started pouring in from our managers. For example, can we also include this fourth store? Can we add, let's say, a weekend delivery? Um, but if I had said yes to everything, we wouldn't have possibly made the deadline. The temporary project it was actually led by a department supervisor. I had to communicate clearly everything and push back on the very unrealistic expectations bosses tend to have. So she focused on on value delivery, one of the PMBOK principles. She kept asking, does this help us deliver the same day service or recruit or three stores before Black Friday? If not, it got postponed. That's smart project thinking. What this struck me the most was the importance of collaboration and adaptability. We had to learn from members from our warehouse operations, IT, customer service. We all had to kind of work together. No one had done this exact thing before, but it's okay. New things happen. That's the point of project management. So we basically tailored the principles of PMBOK. I didn't exactly know these things before. Um, I'm learning them in the class of project management. But now that I do look back at it, I do realize that a lot of the things which I did for that company really do resonate with PMBOK and what the professor taught us. So I'm much more, let's say, anticipated towards using them again. For example, cut to the chase. Looking back at it, I would say the biggest takeaway was for the role of communication, and because obviously the team had to handle communication, especially with drivers, store managers, to keep the project going off the rails, make sure everyone gets the items that they need on the same day as we had guaranteed. Um, Basically, what I had learned is that project management is not about spreadsheets or data or data analytics. It's all about communication. How clear can I communicate, and how clear does my team understand about my communication for them to use it in the perfect, efficient manner? And we'll say it wasn't the greatest, but learned a lot, and it's all about people. So, number one takeaway: learn to speak. Um, Speaking on the personal reflection side, my final thoughts about this project, about the same delivery system. To wrap all this up, the experience made me see project management in a whole new perspective. I used to think it was for large scale construction or ID work, but now I realize that project management is everywhere. Whether it's a fan company or a milk delivery company or anything, honestly, it you need project management. Otherwise, nothing will ever get done. Doesn't matter what field. So, understanding how to balance constraints, manage change, and lead a team with empathy is more important than ever. So, whether I end up working in tech or marketing or construction or completely different thing, I know that this class, project management, is very important, and it will be used in any and every field I decide to work in. And if I become good at what I do, then it's very possible that business owners or employers might look at me as a supervisor or a project manager in order to make their business more efficient. And that's why I'm learning and focusing more time on communication. So um, that's basically everything I have to say. This course was amazing. Learning project management was actually very, very interesting. And I hope the professor has a very good time up ahead in their life, and I hope I do as well. Thank you so much. If there is anything you would like me to collaborate or talk about more, feel free. I can record a video any other time. It's not a problem. Thank you so much. And I'm very glad and very happy to do this. Thank you so much.